right, and we're live. Hello, welcome to the DGRN Podcast, Episode 3. I'm with Money Got Hops.
Hello, welcome to the cool podcast. Hooray!
Yeah, we're live streaming this one instead, so you get to see this live time. Could you believe it?
I can't.
I surely can't believe it. Got a cool episode for y'all. It's gonna be before
We
Daytona.
have Daytona. It's Daytona weekend yet again. This time it is to end the regular season instead of starting it. So that should be pretty interesting.
Sure will be. I will go over trucks, then Bush, then Cup. We'll have each. We have a few guests, I guess. We have HP.
Yeah,
Cole, David. We have men here.
It's just the Bush Series drivers and Nico for whatever reason, but
here. But yeah. We're gonna go through each one, talk about points and the situations that they're in, and then we'll have everyone put their tops, top 6 or what they think's gonna happen in the race. So we'll start off with trucks, I suppose, since that seems to be somewhat interesting. Braden, Carwolfia, and Gio are locked in, so those are sure for locks there to AFK Master Builder. They're up by quite a big margin. I'd say AFK Master has a bigger shot of locking himself in as long as nothing wild happens. You got XLT in 6th. Then you have Vixie, Zach, and Sword still in strike, somewhat striking distance, quote unquote. Then from 9th on to 20th, it is all win, and you are in the playoffs.
definitely definitely the roster out of all the other rosters that not really a lot of interesting things have happened. I mean, at this point we're getting at least like 5 trucks per race, and some of them don't even race in trucks half the time.
Yeah, that's true. Yep.
That's why most of these guys are in must-win situations, because they don't got the points and they never show up.
And when in the rare times they do show up, they do not do well.
And one thing I'd like to point out is the fact that Builder has not shown up since the Bristol truck race, yet he is still in the playoffs. If he raced the entire season, he'd probably be miles ahead of everyone.
He was the points leader at one point as well, which is pretty wild. So we'll go down the list here. We'll start with Michi, I suppose. I don't think you've seen much of the truck series at all, but regardless, just basing off the information we just gave you, what do you think will happen in the truck race? What do you think is going to happen in terms of the top 6?
Well, it depends really. I mean, XLT, he's injured. That gives room for Zach to probably get in the playoffs. I mean, the bubble is definitely going to be an interesting battle, but you also have to look out for the guys who are in must-wins. If they show up and win, they will be in the playoffs. You also have some of the guys who are in the playoffs and just haven't shown. They're pretty good, but it depends on playoff time if they're actually going to do anything.
It's a fair enough assessment. All right, so there is Michi's opinion on the playoff bubble. Genesex, what do you think's gonna happen? What's your thought process?
I don't see anyone under the cut line probably besides Zach showing up to Daytona, giving Zach a shot at XLT since he's dead, because Zach already confirmed that he's going to Daytona.
You heard it here, folks. Vixie Zach is showing up for Daytona, and XLT, watch out. That'll be not very good. All right, David, what do you think? Since you are driving for XLT, you are getting half points for him. So, what is your thought process? Because you're kind of like in a weird spot. You're in the middle of fighting for another guy's playoff spot.
Can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can you ask the question again?
Jesus Christ.
It's going great already. All right. right, so you are in an interesting situation because you are essentially fighting for XLT's playoff spot. But generally, how do you
Yeah.
think you fit in all this, and how the playoff bubble is going to fit after Daytona?
I don't know.
What an answer!
Great assessment. Thank you.
Thank you very much for your time. All right, we have two more before we get to the people's decision. You got Cole. Who do you think is going to be your top 6?
More than likely, it's like probably my bold prediction, but I more than likely think that the top 6 more than likely could stay the same as long as, shenanigans or racing incidents don't happen. But knowing that it's the truck series and I only really watched a few races of this series, is that chaos will pretty much ensue. I would not be surprised if someone ends up going into death wall, but we'll have to see what goes down for the top 6 here heading towards Daytona in the regular season finale.
All right, that was Cole's opinion. A pretty informative one as well, I'd add. And we have HP. What do you think is going to happen for your top 6?
He can't talk right now, so
LOL.
I think.
L-Mans.
I can't believe it. All right, so Monkey, I'll let you have the stage here for
All
the
right.
top 6. So what do you think?
Well, obviously the top 3 is going to stay the same. It all is going to depend on if AFK Master shows up, even though, AFK Master is probably locked in as is. I don't think Builder is going to be able to make it to the race again. Of course, David getting half points for XLT, I believe would probably need to sweep the race to pass Builder in points. I'm not 100% sure on that. Don't quote me on that. But depending on what happens,
yeah,
I believe that one of these guys below the cutoff in a must-win will win this race. That is my opinion. I believe that's what's going to happen. It could be literally anybody depending on who shows up. But like I said, these last couple of weeks, we've only had around, 5 trucks per race. But if we do get a pretty sizable field, it might be a little bit difficult for XLT to hang on to that playoff spot, considering David's only getting half points for him.
that is true. All right. So in terms of my assessment here, geez. All right. So top 3 obviously stay the same. To AFK Master, I think he locks in, whether he makes the race or not. Builder is an interesting situation because since he hasn't shown for so long, I don't know if he's gonna keep his playoff spot, but we'll see what happens.
Yeah.
Assuming he does, then you have XLT and Vixie, Zach, and Sword. Sword is in a situation where he's kind of in a must-win, as is.
Yeah, as is.
Because you can only get 50 points in the regular season per truck race. So he's 47 back. You need to sweep stage 1 or stage 2 and then win the race to get in on points. And of course, you win the race, you locked in, so it doesn't really matter. So you're technically already in a must-win, just not points-wise.
So yeah, you could technically put that as a must-win if you wanted to, but still.
/ must-win.
Minus 47 / must-win, you know?
Oh yeah, we got Big C Zach. I think in Big C Zach, most likely, now that I'm thinking about it, I think he misses actually. I think the top 6 stay the same.
Interesting testament.
I don't see him necessarily being terrible at Daytona, but I don't see him being great. And I think David, with his experience, I think he will score relatively well enough to put XLT above Invixie Zach.
However, there is one factor that you just said that we're not really taking into consideration, because if Builder can't show up during the playoffs, then we might have to do to him what we did to Cursed last season, I believe,
true,
and just bounce him from the playoffs, and then whoever's in 7th just gets the spot.
That's very true. That's very true. So he might just get in regardless, but assuming he decides to show up for Daytona in the playoffs and miracle happens and Jesus is back, I think Big Zach misses. Me personally. But yeah, that's the truck series pretty much all said and done. Now we have the more interesting section of the video, the Busch series.
Considering there's only Busch Series drivers in here, and Nico.
All right, so we got the top 4 are locked in, so not really worried about those guys. What they need to do is just try to win the pole, win the race, gain some points. In everyone else's case, except for Monkey, since he's so far out, you'd just be looking for a better position at the end of the regular season. Looks better on the stat sheet, I guess. But mostly just a win, so you get more playoff points. Make sure you're kind of just there, because Monkey's gonna get those 15 extra playoff points, and he's gonna be a little bit ahead of the rest of the people. So that's gonna be pretty cool. Then you have Genesect in 5th, HP in 6th, and then everybody else is in a must-win.
Everybody.
So it's gonna be very interesting, since it's more gonna be like kind of like interviews. I feel like, since it's
this is pretty much just interviews.
Yeah, that's what I figure. 2 of them are dead. Yeah, that's true. Actually, yeah. Mr. Beast.
That is actually true.
Gone. He died at Nashville, or something.
So did Tough Tyler.
Yeah, Tyler also died, which was pretty unfortunate.
Tough Tyler did not kill himself like Mr. Beast, though. Mr. Beast just drove it back into the death wall. Tough Tyler, just wrong place, wrong time.
Unfortunate. Curse will be subbing in for him, so that might make things pretty interesting. But in this case, me and Monkey will start first, then we'll go down the line with interviews, just so things can happen. So Monkey, I'll let you have the floor as well. What's your thought process?
So, considering everyone in here, of course, the top 4 is pretty much just going for extra playoff points. I believe if Genesect just finishes like inside the top 5 in stage 1, he pretty much locks himself in. HP, however, you need to start running. I'm sorry, but there's people below the cutoff that can still win. One person I want to highlight is Michi. He will miss qualifying because he lost a limb at Nashville. So, yeah, I want to talk about that, first of all. And then, second of all, we got a couple of people that will probably be showing up. Not sure if Bakers will be able to make it, but he was in the playoffs for some point, got a win at Montreal. Had a pretty good shot at making it, made the Truck Series playoffs last season, just was not able to show up and not get enough points. But we'll see how he fares if he does show up or not. Mr. Beast is dead. Zinthroth, you know what? Pretty interesting season for that man. I feel like if he showed up more, he probably would be closer to the playoff bubble, but and at the end of the day, he really didn't. So I guess we'll find out if he wins the Daytona race or not. And then we got Miguel, one of the more aggressive drivers, I'd say, out of the people in the bottom here. But I think he's also got a pretty good shot to win it. And then pretty much everyone else. From Neptune, Lark's going to blow a gasket if Neptune does show up and does not win the race. I just want to warn everyone right now. So, yeah, and then everyone else from down there kind of just doesn't show up and is never there. Oh, Wicked's there. You know what? Wicked could have a chance, but I don't know if I really see it happening considering his luck, but still.
Alrighty, so what's your thoughts on like what the top 6 is gonna be?
The top 6 is gonna be okay. So obviously, top 4 pretty much going to stay the same. I do recall Cole actually passing David for third, and then David took that back recently this past weekend at Nashville. So depending on how qualifying turns out and who ends up winning the race, depending on if David maybe gets the pole or even wins the race, or he just does both, he will be able to tie me in playoff points if he does do that. As far as that, either David or Cole passing Demi, I mean, I think it is mathematically possible. For David, he's got more of a chance to pass Demi. Cole, not that much. Yeah, that's just my thought process on that. But when it comes to the two people that aren't locked in yet, Genesect and HP, I feel as if, like I said, Genesect, I think he just needs to finish stage 1 inside the top 5, and he's golden. So Genesect, the main goal for him is just show up and finish, I guess. I don't know. HP, he's just got to hope and pray that he doesn't wreck out early, and just hope and pray that nobody in a must-win situation wins. But yeah, if somebody in a must-win situation wins, that's going to be a heartbreaker for HP, considering he's got the most Busch Series wins this season.
Alrighty. So I'll go with my predictions. I'll go through the top 6, what I think it's going to be, what I think is going to happen, because I'm a little bit more bold, I suppose. Top 4, meh. For Genesect, there's a few ways he can go about it. If someone from the top 4 wins, then he doesn't really need to care. If he wins, he's fine. If HP wins, he's also fine. It doesn't matter if HP or Genesect wins. If either of them do win, they'll be fine. And if HP passes Genesect on points and someone below the cut line wins, then he would be out of it. So there is that. I think that the odds are on his side, because HP needs to essentially gain half of the points available in the race to catch up. He was able to do that with just a stage win and the race win. He got 35 points or something like that. Actually, no, not 35. He got 45. What am I talking about? But even still, for Daytona, it's so much more unpredictable. It's everywhere. It's kind of just it's messy. It's messy. So the way I think it's gonna go, I think that either Genesect or HP will win the race. That's just my take. I think there's gonna be a lot of aggression during the final parts of the race, but I think someone from the top 6 takes the dub. I that's what I think's gonna happen. I can see Cursed maybe making a run for it, but other than that, I don't see really anybody from the bottom 7 to 23rd really having. I mean, they have a fighting chance, but I don't see it in the cards for them. As that's what I'm gonna say here. It could happen. Of course, we've had a couple drivers down here, I think, that are standout performers, like Miguel Zenthroth and
Michi, Tyler, Bakers.
But Bakers most likely won't show. Tyler's dead, so he's relying on Curse to win the race and do last season.
Yeah, so if Cursed wins, Tyler is in. So if Cursed wins, is Tyler back in the car at Chicagoland, or is Cursed going to have to sub for 3 more races?
Cursed would have to sub for 3 more races.
Jesus Christ.
That's a lot of half points.
Yeah.
And if we go look at the schedule real quick, this man won't be back till Kansas, and at that point you have 5 races left. Yike.
And Kansas for playoff drivers, that is going to be scary. I can already guarantee it right now, considering we had 4 deaths in the Busch Series at that race. earlier in the season, I feel like we should be a lot more careful there.
Indeed, indeed. All right, so we'll start with, I guess, the interview slash what he thinks is going to happen type section. We'll start with Michi. You are ninth, must win type things. What's your mentality going into this race?
Honestly, I'm just gonna try to make sure I don't wreck out. I mean, that's what everyone's trying to do into this race, just trying to get as much. Everyone's trying to get the win. It's just who's gonna win it, and basically, if you win, you're good. If you're not, I can see HP's mentality. He's probably gonna try to hold on to dear life, trying to keep that sixth position to make it into the playoffs, which I understand. And I guess it'll make sense if they do. Anyways, on the analysis side, um, I really don't think that I'd be able to win outside of much, intervention. I mean, I am a pretty decent super speedway racer, but it's more up to luck, if anything.
All right, that's Michi, and that's his thoughts. Maybe
I'll
he'll
do a
win the
little
A shot car.
analysis while we're at it. How about?
All right. I shall be HP's interpreter. He's deaf. He's doing sign language, and I'm gonna interpret it.
He's just standing in the room, just doing a bunch of poses.
Anyway.
Michi wants to analyze.
Okay.
I'm gonna be non-biased on it. Honestly, I think the top five's pretty much safe unless Genesect has like a disastrous race. To be honest, he just really needs to finish. HP needs to really get lucky if the guys under him don't win. I mean, with how it is, it's not really looking like any of them will. Baker's probably not showing. Tough Tyler is dead, so he has cursed skeletons into him. Then you have Mr. Beast. He doesn't really show. Zenroth.
And Mr. Beast is dead as well.
Yeah, he's
So
also dead anyways. Zethroth, he has a chance, but I don't really think that he can. If he can get it done, then that would be nice. But really, it's not really showing it. I've already explained my experiences on how I don't think I'd make it. So I think HP pretty much has it locked if he finishes.
All right,
He just
Jessica
really needs to get help defend, and he'll pretty much make the playoffs.
I guess I'll move on to
All
David.
right.
Since Jessica said he was gonna skip out. No, it's not just the top six. Everyone else can still race. It's their decision. Some people like to drop out the season once they don't make the playoffs, since they're weird like that. So it might just be more playoff based, but no, every car is still in at play. We'll move on to David. You are locked in, so you don't really have much to worry about it. But
Hi.
trying to catch Demi. So what's your game plan heading into Daytona?
I just kind of want to win the race at Daytona, so that everyone else that's in the playoffs currently, they're just safe from anyone else that's trying to win. It's just a good plan. It'll work. And yeah, I thought he was gonna say I don't know. I almost did. Yeah. If I win, then they're all safe. So yeah.
Wise words. Not many, but wise words.
Not many, but wise words.
All right.
Keep in mind, David.
Go ahead.
Keep in mind, if David does get the pole and win the race, he will tie me in playoff points going into the playoffs. So we will be at the same level.
But you get the 15 extra, so you'll be 15 points ahead.
Wait, don't you get 5 for the pole and then 10 for the win?
Yeah, but if you win the regular season championship, you get 15 extra.
Yeah, but all right. So look at this real quick. Okay, so I'm at 55. David's at 50 right now, right?
Right.
He gets 15, he's at 65, and then I get 15, I'm like at fucking, in a minute, 60. Yeah. Anyway, moving on to Cole.
Okay, I was like waiting for you to casually finish your sentence and finish your
Casually.
observations, but so Daytona, it's pretty much anything goes. It's pretty much probably one of the scariest tracks other than Talladega. You just don't know what's going forward, and knowing that I'm already locked in, I kind of don't really need to worry as much as a hoping for like a win. But of course, I kind of just want to, hopefully get a good points day, pass possibly David, and maybe possibly win the race and catch up to Demi if possible. Probably not though, but it would be worth a shot. But as for what should I say, top two that should advance that aren't locked in. Uh, let's just God hopes that you do good and just don't have incidents constantly happening. Uh, I think Wyatt could more than likely make it if he finishes top 5, maybe even top 3 in stage 1 or 2, if he could, manage to pull it off without causing some mishaps with some people specifically. Uh, and the thing is, because Wyatt and HP kind of just at each other for I don't know what reason again, and uh, these two might go after each other and they might like fight each other for like who could be, having a better advance in like the playoff or something as soon as they begin at whatever track we go to for the playoffs. And knowing that Tyler's dead, he's just gotta hope that God that cursed just manages to give a win for him. And if HP wrecks out, I'm just gonna say this. I feel really bad if that's the case because he had pretty much a good chance. He's had like a great run, and unfortunately, he's kind of slipped a little bit. But then, if he eventually wrecks out here, it's going to be very unfortunate for his case. And as for like the other guys, I don't expect Chad to show up. That guy did not deserve to win Montreal, by the way. Michi could possibly show up. He's more than likely to, but it would be pretty cool. Mr. Beast dead. You suck as a teammate, buddy. Get the hell off. Synthroth would be catastrophic for me since I had not good history with him. I'm not sure about the rest. Maybe Neptune probably just makes a random event. Wicked, also a teammate that I have. He kind of just goes with whatever his brain is thinking that day. And then there's JJ, which I hope to God he doesn't show up. That dude, like, no, just no. We just don't want him. We don't want him. As for the rest, I don't know where they would be going if they even show up or not. But the underdog winner that I have seen winning this race is possibly Michi if he does end up showing up. But I don't know. It's just Daytona. It's pretty much anything goes. It's pretty much hell if you're not knowing what you're doing. And for Voice Crack City, not knowing what you're doing, and initially we'll just see how it plays out. I'm really hoping for at least a good points day. And knowing that I'm the guy that has feuds with literally almost everybody except for like the top 3, exception of David. The exception of that, we know what happened. Indy 500, Indy 500, Indy 500. I gotta remind you again, Indy 500. Let's see what kind of feud starts up with me because knowing I'm probably the fucking villain in this series, but who knows? Who knows what happens? What will the Cole incident be? That is up to your money, but good luck to everyone at Daytona when the time does come on Saturday, I believe.
But yeah, Cole, I just all right, so I think it is possible for you to pass David, and it is possible for you to pass Demi. David, I think you just need to have a good day and him just have a bad day for you to be able to pass him. But to pass Demi, I think you need to sweep the race and for Demi to DNF. I'm not sure, like in stage 1. I'm not sure though.
Again, anything really goes. It's a super speedway. A lot of incidents can happen, and it's possible that we might see more than just one person end up at the death wall. And I'm just going to make a bold prediction where I think there's going to be like 4 people that go into the death wall. I'm just going to say that. Myself included, I'm expecting it just because that's my luck. Volcano Motorsports luck is unfortunate. as we clearly saw from Nashville not too long ago. But yeah.
All right, that pretty much sums up all of Busch. It's more like a Russian roulette. Who will win? We don't know.
Yeah.
And then the Coke Zero Cup Series or MSI, it still says Coke Zero, which is pretty funny.
It's about the Daytona. It's about 4
All right, moving on to HP. I'm gonna interpret for him or something. I don't know because he's deaf. All right, so. All right. All right. So HP said, yeah, Daytona has been statistically my best super speedway in finish terms. I'm going into this race with a game plan while clenching my cheeks. What the fuck? I don't have many enemies, so I'm hoping luck is on my side for this race and hope this game plan works. Okay, so some somewhat normal and some suggestive comments from HP, but
you heard the man. He's gonna clench his cheeks.
It's in the fine print, man. I don't know what to tell you.
You wrote it down. Cheeks clenchers, wow. All right, we got the MSI Cup Series with, I think personally, for me, the most interesting point battle. Cause look at this, we got 39-3 and -3. That's insane. Obviously you got Larkins and Red. They've been locked for a little bit, but Silent this past weekend just locked himself in. He didn't really show up, but
and
he
didn't even show up to the race.
He had enough points anyway. But everybody else under the Koval is in a must-win, and I mean, looking at the playoffs for these types of things, there's a bunch more. There's 10 races. While like Busch and Trucks, I think they have like 7 or 8. They're not many, but they're races, I suppose. And you can see the finishes from last race here as Red got the win. Congratulations to him.
I'm still pissed.
That's not very good. All right, so similar to Busch, I guess I will do the funny and whatnot. I will start this time. Congratulations.
Well,
what?
No way.
So we got Lark, Red, Silent. Those are your constants, your bases, essentially. So don't need to worry about that. What gets interesting is this section because it's really difficult to know what will happen, considering there's a good chunk of these guys are most likely to show up, especially the 4 around here. And so starting with Tony, he's been pretty decent at super speedways. He, I think, ran pretty decent in the 500, had a chance to win. He flipped after the race, but that's besides the point. So he's been pretty good. He just got a win at Watkins Glen a couple weeks ago. He's on some momentum. Missed Nashville race, but that's whatever. He's 30 points over the cut line, but you can gain 80 points in a race in Cup from the regular season. That's a lot. So that's 50 points he's leaving out on the table for grabs, essentially. So it's really hard to say where I'll put him, but I'll put like a top 6 of what I think's gonna happen. But that's his situation. You have Aiden, who's only 9 points to the good, and he is kind of like he's on like a basis of showing, maybe not showing. It's kind of hard to tell if he will show or not. If he doesn't show, then that basically means that it's Jover for this guy. But if he does, then that makes things extremely interesting because that puts all these guys in play, and that'll be not very good. Windows was quite a bit ahead of Koval, but he did not have a good race at Nashville due to lag and his car getting parked into the death wall. That was not very good. He's only 3 points to the good. He's the 500 champion. Well, don't remember that. He has 4 wins on the season, so that's interesting. And Koval, he's won at Talladega a couple times, but never really at Daytona, other than a dual race back in season 10. He's not bad at Daytona, but it just seems like luck hasn't really been on his side for it. You have the rest of the guys in the must wins as well. So what I think the top 6 is going to be. Other than your top 3, I have thought about this for a little bit, and I'm still trying to like debate about it in my head. I think Aiden takes 4th. I think he'll have a good enough race to where he'll be fine, barring any insane wild stuff going on here. I think Windows takes 5th because I think Windows will be okay. I think he will just have an okay race, not bad, but not great. And then you have Tony and Kobo for the last part, and I'm gonna say it right now. It's gonna be a little wild. This solely depends on if they show up. It solely depends. I think out of all these people, King, from all the luck he's had, I think he swoops in and does what he was supposed to do a season ago. Takes the 6th spot. That's my bombshell prediction. I think I was debating upon like Rainbow or King to take that thing. I think Scar Skeletons might have a good shot as well. I feel like King, for some reason, I'm not too sure why. This is, again, just solely if he shows up. If not, then this whole prediction's kind of for nothing. But if he does show up, I think he takes the 6th spot. I think he wins. That's what I think. All right, Monkey, go ahead.
Okay, so for this, I'm just going to start with 12th all the way down to 16th place. You know damn well that these guys are not showing up to the race. Just basing my judgment off of the fact that they have gone. Oh my God, he's updating the spreadsheet after I said that. But yeah, I don't think Captain Birthday, Zachy Fufu, Adriani, Garlic, or Kai are gonna show up. Even so, they haven't raced these cars in a minute, so I don't think even if they do show up, they're gonna do too good. But yeah, anyway, moving on. King, I know the prediction you just made, Zach. If he does show up, it's possible, but it's really, at this point, just a coin toss if he shows up or not, to be honest. Rainbow, for me, it's getting really hard to root for him, considering he's cost me, like, my last 2 chances at getting a Cup Series win. But regardless, I think Rainbow also has a fighting chance. It is a super speedway, so anybody really has a chance by the end of the day. But yeah, I think Rainbow's in there. Ray Capone pretty much retired early, so not really much to comment on that. Cursed, I don't know what he's kind of here for, because he said his goal isn't really the championship, and he said he's kind of just here or something. I don't know, but regardless, we'll find out. Koval, he's out of everything that's happened to him this season, he has clawed his way to 7th place, and he is only 3 points below the cutoff. So, he doesn't even have to point his way, and he could win if he wanted to. But yeah, Windows, if he stays in 6th, then he gets bounced from the playoffs due to a person who ends up below the cutoff, ends up winning the race. I just think that's going to stink, considering he's got pretty much the same situation as HP, the most wins in Cup this season so far. So, I think that would really stink. That would really suck if that were to happen. Aiden243J has not made a lot of friends on the track this season. And depending on if he shows up to this race or just ends up leaving mid-race, because remember, in the Daytona 500 earlier this season, he literally parked the car to go watch the Super Bowl, even though the Super Bowl hadn't even started yet. So, there is no football game going on that day, I believe, so I think it should be fine. But then again, not sure. Tony is in a tough spot as well, but I think if he can get some good stage points, stage 1 and 2, he might be able to lock himself in before the race ends. He is the all-star race winner. I want you guys to keep that in mind because he gets 75 free playoff points for winning that race, man. So that would just also suck if he were to have 75 free playoff points just for him to not make the playoff. And then the top three, obviously, they're locked in.
To put that
So
in perspective, real quick.
Yeah, what?
If he gets 75, if he stays in the playoffs, Lark gets those extra 15. He ties with Lark in playoff points. He will be tied with Lark starting in the playoffs.
He will basically skip the line pretty much because he's only got 20 right now. He will skip everyone else.
And if he wins the race or gets the pole, he's ahead.
Yep.
Wait, but it's 85.
I need to make my prediction for the top 6, Michi. Oh, no, I'm kidding. Anyway, so my prediction for the last 3 spots in the playoffs, I think Tony does a good enough job in the first 2 stages and locks up 4th place. I think my Windows Crashed moves into 5th. And I think Koval Zio makes it into the 6th spot. And I think Koval wins the race as well. That's my take on it. Oh wait, no, never mind. That was not my. God damn it! I changed up my shit. Anyway, I think Tony gets in as 4th. Like I said, then Aiden ends up like DNFing or just not having a good day. I actually think Windows sweeps the Daytona races this season and gets his 5th win and moves into 5th. And I think Koval points his way in, and Aiden gets out of the playoffs because Koval points his way
in. Interesting. I feel like that.
No, I know it's an interesting prediction, but that's what I think is going to happen.
That's a fair assessment, honestly. I wouldn't be surprised if that happens. What if Aiden makes Daytona? I don't think that really changes if he DNFs.
Dude, David, I just said I think he has a bad day or just DNFs.
If he doesn't show up, then like even more power to him.
Yeah. He literally parked in the car to go watch the Super Bowl earlier for the Daytona 500, bro.
That Super Bowl was kind of okay. But I'm getting off topic here. All right, Michi, looking at this top 6, who are your choices for from 4th to 6th, I suppose, and who gets out?
Honestly, it's really up to if they show or not. Aiden, as you guys said, Aiden, he's really on and off if he shows. Koval, I think he has a chance on pointing his way in, but it's just dependent. I mean, Aiden, if he shows, he needs to have a good day. I mean, with Aiden, how aggressive he is, he might wreck or have a bad day and put Koval in. But we also know Windows also has to have a good day. He's only 3 up on the cut line. Koval can easily pass him if this. Tony, he has the easiest out of these, out of the 4. He can easily. He needs to have a good day still to make sure he doesn't get out, but he should be fine in the 4th spot for now. But I can also maybe see a lot of the guys under the cut, under Koval, maybe getting it. As you said, Ryking, if he shows, he's a good super speedway racer. He can probably pull something out. Maybe get a win. But also, Rainbow, he's a pretty good racer. He can probably get something. Ray, he's kind of retired. Curse, he might. I can see Curse maybe trying to make a push, but I don't think he'll get a win. And Koval, I just think he really just needs to do stuff.
Yeah, he needs to do stuff.
Yeah,
he needs to do it.
A race. He just needs to, not DNF. Not DNF and do better than Windows. That's basically what he needs to do.
All right, that's Michi's take on the whole matter. We got Genesect. What do you think? From 4th to 7th, I guess. And if you think there will be a surprise winner in this race, what do you think? Boy, you're in the kitchen. Boy, I do not care. Anyway.
I do not care.
All right. In that case, Cole, what from 4th to 7th, or if a surprise winner happens,
when it's time for HP, I'll interpret again. I know what
I
you're saying.
did watch a few races of this as well. Okay, I had to start copy pasting what I said for trucks, but I don't know. Cup is very, very interesting, of course, with the points battle. Of course, with Windows Crash with +3 and Koval with -9. God, -3 from cut line. And knowing that the rest are most likely in most wins, it's definitely going to be an interesting points battle heading towards um, the end of the regular season for Cup. Of course, the top three are of course locked in: Lark, Red Knight, and Silent. Yeah, teammate. And of course, Tony, Aiden, and Windows fighting for positions for who could possibly make playoffs. More than likely, I think Tony might lock in, depending on if it's stage 2 or 1, depending on how good he finishes. And it's definitely like a good battle for Koval and Windows, since both have the talent. Both are really great drivers. I hate voice cracking. Both are really good drivers. It would be a shame though if Koval did not make the playoffs, despite how consistent he's been this entire season. But knowing that, of course, like I said earlier for Bush, is that it's chaos controls, and chaos will pretty much kill if people, if these drivers, don't start playing, too aggressively early on. Um, it would. He's not your teammate, brother. I do not give a. I do not give a. You son of a bitch. Um, but we'll have to see how all these how Cup will roughly resolve. I think there might be an underdog winner, and this is just my take. I'm not sure if he will show up or not, but like Rainbow got taken. He has shown up for a few races. Of course he's not the most insane. Okay, that is a spasm. He's not the most whoa, watch this guy, watch this driver, do good type of guy. He's kind of just like one of those like mid-pack drivers that only tries to get there for like points and stuff. But
also the guy that costs you races.
Look, look. He's by. He's by. I'm by. We can.
That has nothing to do with racing, my brother. That has nothing to do with racing.
Settle down, gentlemen. Settle down.
That makes no sense.
This is Monster Jams.
This is not Monster Jams, bro. Row racing better than Monster Jams.
That's the joke, you stupid. But somehow he might just randomly pull off like a one-hit wonder and possibly have like a good race or so. That's unless someone just says, "Nah, screw you. I'm going in the death. It's gonna send you with the death wall," or just he just causes himself out of the race or so. But we'll just have to see what this race will lead to, and we'll just let chaos controls all at the end for Cup. So it's definitely gonna be interesting to watch. I might commentate that.
All right, and that is Cole's. That is Cole's.
The Monster Jam.
That's Cole's thing.
I saw the thing Zach said.
All right, we'll do David and then HP, and then we lit. Okay. All right, so David, cool. you are not really in the race, but you ran a few cup races. You've seen and basically raced a bunch of these guys quite a bit. From 4th to 7th, or if you think a new winner will pop up out of nowhere, what is your thought process on how Daytona will end up?
From what I remember in the Daytona 500, I feel like if the people that are in must win, probably not gonna win, except for maybe Cursed. I think he could maybe win at Daytona. I don't know though. He's not that bad. So I have a feeling he might be able to do it. Anyway, yeah, that's it. Cause I'm clueless.
Damn. A clueless
Damn.
fool. All right,
Interesting.
Monkey. It's time to
All right. It's time for
interpret
me
this
to
guy.
interpret again. All right. Let me see here. Let me see what he's saying. Okay, so for his opinion on Cup, he says if Koval does not make it, he's rioting DGRN HQ and he's blowing the place up. Huh. Interesting.
Oh no, I
Huh.
better back up.
Yeah, that's HP, everyone. He says he's gonna commit arson if Koval does not make it into the playoffs.
That is rather unfortunate. Yeah, but Janice, like, here's the thing: if it depends if Windows gets past Aiden. If they both do, then Aiden's out, and the same can be said for Tony.
Yeah, if Aiden doesn't show up, it's pretty much wraps for him, I think.
Yeah, if Tony doesn't show up, depending on how Windows and Cole will do, it could be wraps for him as well.
Like, if any of these guys, 4th through 7th, does not show up, it could be wraps.
It only takes a couple of points.
Yeah, so to 4th through 7th, real quick, you're teeter-tottering on the edge of life or death, all right? One wrong move and you're done, bro. That's all I'm saying.
To put this in perspective, let's say, for instance, Koval gets 4th and Windows gets 10th. They would be tied in points, and the way and how you go about it is by amount of wins. And clearly,
Windows would get the tiebreaker.
if you just do this real quick and go to the winners column, yeah. And even if we were to go by polls for whatever reason, because that makes sense, this guy has 2, or actually, 3, which is pretty cool. Let's see how many Windows has. Only has 1. So if it was polls, this man would get it.
Yeah, if Koval does tie with somebody, though, I think the other person might get the tiebreaker, unless it's Tony.
I mean, yeah, it would have to be, in that type of situation anyway, where they both finish pretty poorly and they tie. Yeah, we'll call it with the man of the hour, Koval. You decide to join up here. Thought process and mentality going into Daytona.
Do you guys hear me?
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay, cool, because I'm with my earbuds. Anyways, like I said earlier in the chat, me and Windows have a plan together to beat Aiden out of the playoffs if he shows up. If he doesn't, then we both make the playoffs together. Yippee! So I had some good luck in Daytona. Windows is a Daytona 500 winner. So that puts into perspective. I have a Daytona road course win. There's a Daytona 500 win. If me and him team up, The Rock and Stone Cold Steve Austin, they both can make it.
You just gotta hope that you're not facing Chris Jericho on the same night.
Oh, please.
And Chris
Anyways,
Jericho
like,
being Caden.
You just made the list!
I have a lot of people backing me up, so God bless all of you. That's all I have to say.
This is
thank
a
you.
very
try
Christian
to
server,
win.
by the way. Shut up. Alright, so that is Cup being down. I'm gonna quickly put my race winner predictions just to finish this out.
Kirby's Christian Minecraft server.
What about Arca?
Gerard P's winning.
Gerard
End of
P won the
discussion.
race. Alright, see this?
I see it.
Gerard.
Yeah, yippee.
He won Watkins Glen, that never happened. He won Michigan, that never happened.
He won Daytona. He won Texas. He won Kansas. He won Talladega. End of
Actually,
story.
this race
All right.
technically did happen. Kurt Skeletons won the race. I forgot. It's the second guy. All right. So for ARCA, somebody.
No. The ARCA series from here on out, it's only Gerard P and Gerard D that are allowed to race. Nobody else is
It's a
allowed.
duel.
It's just it's one-on-one. Whoever wins the championship.
All right. For Truck Series,
Too bad, David. Shut the hell up. It's a battle of
Boy.
brothers.
I think for Daytona, I won't go too bold on this one here. I think GL just sweeps the Daytona races. Easy and done.
Interesting
It's
pick.
Jammer. And then for
I'm
Busch.
gonna-
go ahead,
okay.
actually.
Well, I guess I don't get to pit. All right. Anyway, I'm gonna go with. You know what? Depending on if he shows up or not, I'm gonna go to AFK Master.
Interesting. He was decent at Daytona, so I respect it.
Depends on if he shows up or not as well, like I said.
All right. So for Busch Series, I said nobody was going to win from down
Nobody's
here.
winning the race. Oh, never mind.
If I were to pick one guy and one guy alone, for the sake of the story and how interesting that be, I say Demi wins Daytona.
Interesting.
If you noticed here, he only has 2 wins on the season, and funny enough, his 2 wins have come at very interesting racetracks.
Daytona and Talladega, yeah.
And how many
Technically,
races
that-
have we got?
I mean, technically that wouldn't be sweeping the super speedway races because he didn't win Elwood.
Yeah, but Dale never won Elwood, did he?
You know what? Fair enough.
All right, what's your pick for?
My pick. I think. You know what? Yeah, I think. You know what? I'm going with an upset. I think Zinthroff.
Really?
I think something magical, just some random wackiness just happens, and he's just there at the end and wins.
Wild. I respect that. Actually.
Yeah.
All right, for the Cup Series, I said King already, but
Yeah,
if he doesn't show up, this is my backup pick here.
your backup pick.
My backup pick because
You got a backup pick?
It's solely because I thought King was gonna show up, but if he doesn't, and realistically, who I think is gonna show up, I don't know why. No, actually, no, I do. I think it's gonna be Mr. San Volcano.
Interesting.
He only has 1 win on the season. That was last at Talladega, and he probably should have won at Martinsville until I wrecked him. But we don't talk about that.
We don't talk about that.
He's had a few other chances to win. I think this would be a cool race to win here.
I said my pick initially was my Windows crashed. Depending, and if he doesn't show up, I guess I'll take a backup pick as well, like you, Zach. If Windows doesn't show up, I think Koval will capture the win. How about that?
Alrighty. That's our picks. That's what we think is gonna happen. We'll do another live stream after Daytona, and we'll go look
yes,
at
sir.
the playoffs, look ahead, and then we'll try to do some things here. I guess we'll let the other guys choose. So I think instead of just having everyone individually say it out loud, we'll go through the truck series, and I'll just go like, all right, on a count of like 10 or something like that, who you think is gonna win, and then the trucks in the truck series race out of these names right here.
Who do you think's gonna do it?
All right, I'm gonna give everyone like 10 seconds to think and look at it and be like, wow.
T minus 10. And then that's all you get. You don't get anything else.
Okay, 3, 2, 1. All right, who's winning the truck race? Jansek says Geo. David says he's going to win for XLT. I can see that happening, actually. HP says
No
Geo.
bias.
I have Geo to go back to back. Geo is the favorite here, I suppose.
Unless David does something. Unless David kills a man.
All right, so the general consensus from the chat is just Geo's going to win. Or we think Geo's going to win. Is a better way of putting it. All right, 10 seconds for Bush. Although we don't really have every name on here, but it doesn't really matter. All right, I'll give you 3 seconds.
All right, 3,
2,
2,
1.
1. All right, we got the
winning
next
Bush?
Royal Rumble entrant.
OG.
And of course, everyone's saying me.
I'm winning Daytona. Michi says me or Zinthroth.
You know, y'all could like
Something.
not think of yourselves for once and not go me. You could like pick somebody else for a change, but oh well.
You gotta be hella aggressive. You gotta be confident in yourself. I'm not.
I
biased to
interpreted
pick
for you, HP.
Jessica says he got HP. It's kind of like a mixed bag. We'll say that. We will say it's a mixed bag for everybody. All right, for the Cup drivers, giving y'all 3 seconds.
3.
2, 1.
And we got the next Royal Rumble entrant.
It's LA Knight. Yeah.
What? The yeah movement.
All right. HP says Koval. Michi says Cursed or Koval. Jacek says Windows. Nico says my Windows Crash will win the Cup Series once again. He will win the entire series.
He will win the Cup Series, and he's gonna buy it.
He's gonna buy it and steal it. The Cup Series, he owns it.
He owns it now.
He's like Elon Musk. He's gonna take the Cup Series and then ruin it. Put a big
And
X
then
on
he's
it.
yeah, I was gonna say he's gonna change the logo to an X.
The X Cup Series.
The X Cup Series. The Cup Series.
It's not.
What-
It's just gonna be called the X Series.
What series is that? The Cup Series.
No, it's called the
Is-
X
is
Series.
it-
Not to be mistaken by the Xbox X Series.
Not to be mistaken by the Xbox Series X and or S.
The series is just called the X. All right. Well, I think go ahead. It's not gonna be on stream, so we don't really care.
Yeah,
It's towards
we-
PG. Why?
we do not care. I don't listen.
I don't think you could say that, brother. Anyway, that's been the stream. It's actually been like an hour just talking about DGRN, which is pretty wild.
Wow.
So we will come back just maybe about like a week or two. Maybe not. Maybe I don't know about a week or 2 weeks, but like just a little over a week, and we'll see what happens. Pretty excited to see what's gonna happen. Hopefully all these predictions don't go down the drain and we don't jinx anybody. Everyone, if you said you're going to win, you just jinxed yourself. It's over. All right. That will do it for this episode of the DGRN Podcast. I am once again Zach the Digital, joined by Monkey.
Yes, sir.
And we'll be back probably in just about a week's time.